In this lecture, we'll talk a little bit about how to choose a method of data collection for your research project. Sociologists use a variety of different research methods to answer the questions that they develop for the research. And one of the most important points about research methods is that the research question that you select for your project largely determines the types of methods that you will use. There are two large categories of research methods within sociology. There are quantitative data collection methods and qualitative data collection methods. Quantitative data collection methods involve collecting information from people that can be coded numerically. This might include responses to a survey that can be assigned numbers and then analyzed using statistics. Qualitative data, in contrast, includes data that are collected in the form of text, through interviews, through observations of people in a natural social setting. So let's compare these two umbrellas of research methods within sociology: quantitative research methods and qualitative research methods. Quantitative research methods are data that can be coded into numbers and then analyzed using statistics. The types of methods that usually generate quantitative research data include survey questionnaires or surveys that are collected by other researchers. Also, organizations and governments might collect information from people that can be coded numerically and analyzed with statistics. Now, qualitative methods in comparison involves data that are collected in a more of a text audio format, such as in-depth interviews or focus groups, participant observations. These can also include, qualitative methods can also be used to analyze textual sources of data through media like newspapers, or even social media platforms like Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram. You might be asking yourself what type of research method you should use for your project. Quantitative methods are really good at providing information about the frequency of which something might occur, so how common something is. Or maybe you're trying to compare groups based on some type of exposure or characteristic that varies between them. Sometimes researchers can use quantitative methods to establish associations between variables, perhaps between exposure to stress and somebody's mental health. If you're trying to establish a cause and effect relationship, you might consider using quantitative methods to help you at least get to that starting point of establishing an association between two variables. Now, qualitative methods are a little bit different. Qualitative methods are very good at providing rich and in-depth descriptions of people's experiences and how they feel about something. Qualitative methods also allow the researcher to see events and people more holistically in the proper context, in the natural social setting. Now, I'd like you to think about a few questions as you're considering which research method you should choose for your project. First, think about the population that you want to study. What groups of people could provide information to you to help answer your research questions? Do you have access to that population? And how exactly will you go about collecting data? One of the key features of a research methods section is that it details all of the steps and procedures involved in data collection. Something else that you might think about is, in this day and age, we have access to large volumes of data in different places and formats. So you might think about, is it really necessary for you to collect the data yourself, or can you obtain it somewhere online? Is it already available in a format that you can analyze? So could you construct a data set from online media or previous data that were collected by somebody else for another purpose, and you're reanalyzing it for your project?